Welcome to the Finance Rebel Show. I'm Kamari Ellis, your host. Every week we do the Finance Rebel Show on Wednesdays, and Wednesdays is our Wealthy Wednesday segment where I answer your money questions live. So today, we're going to be talking about three things: Russia, taxes, and the stock market, but also taking your money questions live. So if you have any money questions, go ahead and throw them in the comments, throw them in the chat. If you're on Instagram, put them in the little bubble with the question mark. If you are on YouTube, or Facebook, go ahead and put a question in front of the question, all right, so I don't lose them in the dialogue and then as we're talking and going through everything. All right, okay, Senegalese Queen says all is in order, no worries, no complaints. Okay, appreciate that. Lock and Key, I've had a very interesting day, but we're going to get into it. I'm going to share it. Y'all know I'm all about transparency around here, so we'll talk about it a little bit. But I'll tell y'all, I got stuck in a fast food restaurant today for about 3 hours. So I'll tell you a little bit about that story today, just a little bit. All right, I see folks are starting to come into the room. Akira 34, how are you, ma'am? How are you? Happy Wednesday. Thank you for joining us. All right, so as everybody is starting to come in to the church and fill up the pews, I have a question for you all. I have been pondering starting to go back to doing daily video. I used to do it before, and I don't know why I'm pondering this during tax season. Like I don't have enough things to do, but I got some stuff to say. And you know, part of these lives and videos and podcasts help me, release my creative juices as well. So I asked the question on YouTube the other day, and I want to see what you all will have to say about this. So I'm going to share this on the screen. Oh, you know what? I got another question too. But yeah, I'm going to share this on the screen as well. So the question is, thinking about doing short daily videos covering current financial, money, economics topics. And I wanted to see what you all thought. So I got a lot of responses to this question. A lot of yeses. I think I got just about all yeses here. So absolutely. Shout out to Terrence S. Keisha Nicholson said yes over on YouTube. Shout out to Keisha. Thunder was on over there. Said yes. Shout out to Thunder. Natasha said yes and thank you. Saturn Crush gave me the thumbs up, the black thumbs up too, or the brown thumbs up. And Akira, right? So Akira kind of prompted this thought. So Akira was also over there on the YouTubes, and she said absolutely. So I want to know, to you all who are here with me every week, are y'all interested in daily videos, seeing more, sharing more? So let me know what your thoughts are as we get busy. And I consider pondering this. It's something I want to do, like maybe around 11 or noon, maybe at 1, just put them out there. So if y'all would like to see daily videos from me, do me a favor, just put daily in the chat, and that'll let me know that you're interested. If you don't like it, just say no, and we can get it popping. Listen, as we're getting going, I am attempting to grow my YouTube channel. So don't forget to like, comment, and share. Again, like, comment, and share over there on the YouTubes. And I would greatly appreciate it. All right. So do y'all want daily video from me? Let me move this over just a little bit. I got some new equipment coming in, so I'm going to make this a little bit better. All right, so let's see. All right, Kira's here. Yep. Jose's in the building. How are you? Real Deal Financial. How are you? I think this is your first time here, so welcome. Jose said it's a dope idea, but time consuming. Well, I'm working on no production. No production. It's just me, my thoughts, the camera, and the microphone. So it's not going to be super produced, because I was actually starting to play with making my videos a bit of a higher quality. I'm still going to do that because, again, it's more of a creative outlet for me. All I do is listen to people complain about paying taxes, complain about what to do in their business. And so for me, it's a creative outlet. I think having a creative outlet is actually good for those who are business owners or attempting to be a business owner, because business is really about, well, business is obviously about making money, right? Making money really is about being creative, though, right? I hear people say all the time that it takes money to make money. And there is some truth to that, right? There is a lot of truth to that. But you know what's even greater than money, making money, is creativity. So the greater your creativity, the more money you can make. The greater you're able to then harness that creativity and implement on it, it makes it pretty good. It makes it pretty good. All right, I think I got a bot in the chat. So let's go ahead and put them on timeout. People are sharing websites. I've been noticing that a lot as my channel begins to grow. All right, so Jose says dope, but it's time consuming. Jose says daily, I want to support it. All right, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, brother. All right, and Real Deal Financial says yes. All right, so what did the IGers say? What do y'all say? Eric Singer, 1975. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Explorer Sense, welcome, welcome, welcome. Gemini Bobby, what's up, bro? King Rome 86, welcome, welcome, welcome. So are y'all interested in seeing daily videos from me covering financial topics, stocks, taxes, economics? Is there one particular topic you want more than the others? Let me know. Let me know. Throw it in the comment section. Let me know. Senegalese Queen. All right, cool. She says daily, please. Shorty 719. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Lock and Key says yes. All right, so if y'all got daily stuff for me, what would be your favorite topic for me to cover? It's all cool, Senegalese. It'll just be on my YouTube channel primarily. I probably will work on sharing it out to the other platforms, my IGs, my Facebook, but primarily on YouTube. So you can always find me on YouTube. If you just put in the Finance Rebel on YouTube, you can find me. You can find me. Matter of fact, you're on IG, so you can actually go over there and click on the bio. I'm sure there is a YouTube link over there as well. So, all right, Jose says tax planning and insurance planning. Don't nobody want to hear about that stuff. That's boring, man. Y'all know I'm joking. Those are our major keys to wealth, both tax planning and insurance planning when used properly. When used properly. All right, so I want to show y'all another poll. I think y'all been seeing me talk about this a little bit though, before we get the show started. So give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. All right, so I ran. Oh, is that it? Hold on. Let me go back. So I ran a poll. This was hilarious. So y'all know I've been asking y'all the question: when you go out to eat with friends, how do you handle the bill? So I actually talked about that on one of the segments, and so I wound up sharing that clip out. Shout out to Bai Conti, who's my behind the scenes editor, who does a great job of sharing, creating a lot of these clips for me. But I asked the question on my YouTube community feed, and I actually asked it on my Facebook as well. So I says, when you go out to eat with friends, how do you handle the bill? So here are these results, right? 22% of people split the bill evenly. Pay for what you ordered is 75%. And then I said, go to the bathroom when the bill comes. That was only 4%. So a lot of y'all don't like carrying a bill for a lot of other people, at least not to this poll. Now, my Facebook poll is a little bit different. It's not even really a poll. It's just kind of commentary. I'll put that up there in a minute as well. Let me just share that. But on the YouTubes, they said 22% split evenly, 75% pay for what you ordered, and 4% are going to go to the bathroom when the bill comes up. I find that utterly hilarious. Utterly hilarious. So let's see. I want to show you this last thing and we'll get the party started. We will get the party started. Where did it go? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Now, just got to switch this out. Listen, remember, we're talking about Russia taxes in the stock market tonight. If you have any questions for me, money related, go ahead and throw it in the chat. Go ahead and throw it in the chat. If you are on Facebook or on YouTube, put a question, put a Q in front of your question. Put a Q in front of your question so I can quickly go over and find it just in case it gets lost in any of the conversation that we're having. As you come in, let me know you're here. Let me know where you hail from. As you come in, let me know you're here and let me know where you hail from, where you're from. Oh, man. So, all right. So here's the other poll. Again, find these hilarious. I thought I could blow this up on the screen. All right. So this got a lot of traction. 29 comments. 29 comments. So Dave Foster, shout out to Dave Foster. He's usually a regular here. Dave says, split the bill. I've been out with people that was sus. So I went and paid half the bill and let them handle the rest. I actually did like that idea. All right, Keisha Jonte. Keisha Jonte is another one of my texts. She said, usually split based on who had what. I also treated. All right, so they were treating. DJ Strong live stream says, easy, don't go out with broke mofos. That's kind of cruel, but you know, it is what it is. Everybody's got their own motivations. Rashim, says, I split it evenly. If you ordered that salad and I ordered that steak, oops, you're bad. Order what you want, Pop. Lord knows I am. All right, so Danielle Patterson, y'all should know Danielle. Danielle comes on the channel quite often and gives her legal take on things. She says split evenly. I don't want to dine with mathematicians. I feel her on that one. All right, and so Shannon Robinson says, I don't mind splitting. What bothers me is when people order a bunch of drinks, then want the bill split. Alcohol should be on a separate tab. So that's how she feels about that. All right, busy making moves. How are you? Welcome. Atia says split evenly and go out with like-minded people. Okay. All right, Demetria Davenport says absolutely we can run a separate drink tab. All right, so separate drink tab is getting a little bit of a trend here. If everyone isn't drinking, if you opt differently, that will be our last meal together. All right, Byron May says if it's someone's dinner or they're otherwise being fed, they don't pay. I guess maybe you just want to say treated. Any other time we split evenly, that goes for dates too. So, whoa, you split evenly on dates, Byron? I'm sure there's a lot of ladies having a problem for that. Oh, wow. Tax Lady K. Renee says, I'm only paying for B. Tax Lady K. Renee, are you serious? Only you? So, what do y'all think about these, y'all? Again, there's a lot of folks. I'm not going to read them all because I don't want to bore y'all to death, but there's a lot of folks out here like they ain't paying for folk stuff. All right, last one. We pay the whole bill around here. Disclaimer: this strategy only works if your team is on the same time as you. If it's strangers or associates, we split evenly, regardless if drinks were ordered or not. So that's Malik Carter, aka Coach Carter. So yeah, again, people feel some kind of way about the food they eat. People feel some kind of way about splitting the bill. So I don't know to call y'all cheap or a little tight or I don't know. But what do y'all think? What do y'all think? Go ahead and throw that in the chat. And let's get down to business as we go into everything. Again, tonight's question is, do you think I should begin to do daily videos? Go ahead and throw that answer in the chat and just say daily. And I greatly appreciate you all. So I see you got a couple comments. All right, let me get to those. Oh, hey, Chastity. I hope I'm saying your name right. I just saw you on the By the Hood podcast. I didn't get through to it, but I'm definitely going to check it out. definitely going to check it out. All right, so Chastity says it depends on the company. All right. All right, so you down there in Killeen, Texas. Okay. Okay. All right, Sharon, I see you got a question. Sharon's got a question. We're going to say that. Oh, and actually it's in line. It's in line with what we're talking about tonight. Cool beans. Michael Dennis, what's up, brother? How you been? I ain't seen you in a minute. Hope all is well. Hope all is well. So let's get it started, y'all. Let's get it started. So listen, Russia is out here playing games. Russia is out here playing games. Vladimir Putin ain't having it. He been butthurt for a long time. But I wanted to share something with y'all just to kind of break the ice, get the party started. So give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. As you know, I'm sure y'all all have been following along with what's going on with Russia, or at least some of you all have been following along with what's going on with Russia. They meaning serious business over there. I don't think it's been this tight, tension-wise, political-wise, since Cuban Missile Crisis. So I think it's I mean, outside of the wars, obviously, but I'm talking about between Russia and the United States. So it's starting to get a little interesting. Putin done put his whole feelings on the table. He letting folks he ain't here to play. But I'm gonna talk about that more in a minute. So let me pull this up real quick. If you're just now joining us, make sure you come in. Let us know who you are, what you do, and where you're hailing from. So give me 1 second, everyone. Un momento. All right, don't forget the question of the night. Do you want to see daily videos from me? Dilly Roman. What's up, superstar? How you doing? I ain't seen you in a minute. Hope all is well.
Was mad at Big T for being cool with Big Bang P, but Big Bang P just linked up with China. And if I'm not mistaken, Big Bang P is one of the richest men in the world, and everybody and their mama owe China some money. So we might have an issue, but this will happen. Big Bang P was looking at Ukraine and he like, I like that territory. It's like real close to Russia, and I feel like it belongs to us, so I'm finna come get it. So he didn't move his military close to the border, and he letting them know, like, I'm finna come get it. Like, just letting y'all know, right? And so Ukraine is like, we don't know what he's gonna do. So they got their military out there teaching their citizens how to do Taibo just in case they gotta defend themselves. But some of the citizens, they like, you know what? Big Bang P, he is kind of crazy, but he ain't gonna bust a grape. And if he do bust a grape, guess what? America's gonna come over here and help us. But my whole thing is like, I don't know if y'all forgot what happened in Afghanistan, but we was over there for over 20 years and nobody understood the assignment. So personally, I just would not put all my eggs in the American basket. I done seen the type of people that are American military employed, and no disrespect, but y'all need to go to them continuation schools in the hood and go get you some real shooters. That's all I'm gonna say. But anyway, so Biden done hopped in, right? So Big Daddy Biden, he done hopped into the mix, and he like, look, P, stop playing with me. I know you're trying to be funny because America over here arguing about abortion rights and affirmative action during Black History Month, but I ain't got time for this right now. So if you pull up over there, it's gonna be some smoke, and you're gonna get sanctions. I'm sending you a whole receipt. Like, you're gonna have to pay this bill. And P is like, bruh, let me tell you something. By the look of the inflation in America and y'all homelessness problem y'all got over there, y'all need this money. So go ahead and send me the bill, bruh. I'll pay it in cash. And so at this point, it's out of our hands. Okay, so boom. We was mad at Big T for...
So shout out to Lily Ike. She's hilarious. 1 second. She's totally hilarious. Again, I always like to add a little levity. Sadly, it's definitely a sad state of affairs. U.S. media has kind of underplayed a lot of what's going on in Russia and Ukraine areas. There has been some shelling, some skirmishes that have been going on for quite some time. Before I get going, shout out to Tillman Taxes. What up? What up? Charlie Philly, how you been, lady? But, it's real out here on these Russia streets and these Ukraine streets. It's sadly Biden, really, not Biden, Putin, Big Bang P, feels some kind of way about everything that's been going on. And if you ever get a chance to watch any kind of news or read any kind of news outside of the U.S., because the flavor, the coloring, the positions are definitely different when you look at stuff outside of the U.S., I get why he feels some kind of way. Now, and when I say he, I'm talking about Putin. So he feels that NATO has expanded easternly into more of the Russian provinces. NATO, everybody knows, is kind of moved by the United States, kind of positioned by the United States, led by the United States. And so they feel that they have done some things that were wrong. Kind of, though, goes to show why Russia has been interfering in the elections. And obviously, Russia and the United States, the two biggest and baddest nuclear weapons holders on the planet, are always going to kind of have opposing forces or have opposing views, so to speak. But he feels some kind of way about how American democracy, quote unquote, American democracy, because we know how that really is, has been really flaunted and shown to be kind of arrogant, according to Putin, on these world stages. Because when you saw the Berlin Wall fall, that was when kind of the end of democracy, and I'm going to say it was 87-ish, somewhere around there. That was when communism really took a backseat, and Americanized capitalism, Americanized democracy was kind of the ruling force throughout the world. And so he's saying here, we're here to change that. And he's specifically stated the Ukraine as being kind of a puppet for the West, and he doesn't like it. And he went on, like he did his whole speech the other day on Monday. He went on and said that the Ukraine really isn't real. It's always been Russia, but it was kind of given away, but it's not really a real thing, which is kind of bizarre to me. But he laid out his whole positioning to say, we coming. Hope y'all ready. We coming. We're going to occupy these quote unquote two annexed portions of Ukraine that really consider themselves Russian. So this is going to be interesting. This is going to be really, really interesting. Again, he's put his feelings out there. I don't know if they're real. I don't know if he's doing this just to set the stage to say, hey, we want our stuff back. He did also go to say he's not going to look to take over other quote unquote previous Russian territories like Yugoslavia and many, many others. But I don't know. But the tension is very, very thick. It's thick enough to cut with a knife. And I think this isn't going away anytime soon. I mean, because we saw previously when Obama was in office, they annexed Crimea from the Ukraine and just started wreaking havoc. So it's going to get very, very interesting as we go along. And I know Sharon asked the question, and I'll go ahead and get to that now. Sharon asked the question because this is in line with it. What investments are safe with Russian conflict impacting the stock markets? You know what's always safe? Cash. I think a lot of us underplay cash just because everybody on social media is like, cash is trash. But guess what? Sometimes having cash when everything's about to hit the pan is a good thing, because if you have cash, you'll be able to go shopping when everything goes bad. How many times has the stock market been down? Stock market has been down bigly over these last couple of sessions, over these last couple of weeks. So it was bound to happen. I mean, y'all know I've talked about it for a while. I've been anticipating for the stock market to start falling at some point, because the stock market has literally been running for damn near 12 years straight. Nothing runs forever. What goes up will come down at some point. The question is, you don't know what that time is. You don't know what that point is. So I would say folks need to start getting ready with their cash, start putting some cash aside. I actually did a YouTube video talking about different alternatives for cash savings, because I know everybody is tired of getting 0.5% in their savings account. There are some other very, very, very secure ways of investing or savings that you can get upwards of 7% sometimes. And I talked about that. Matter of fact, that was a product of one of our lives here. Thunder actually shared with us a great savings tool that many of us kind of forget about, right? I-bonds. I-bonds are paying over 7% right now. I think that is a great way to store some of your extra cash and start to get a little bit more cash heavy. Because as you know, your average American cannot handle a $400 emergency. So I believe that all of us need to get a little better with our cash at some point. And I think the point is now when you do that. But, again, everybody's saying cash is trash because, savings accounts are 5%. We saw the inflation read or the inflation report. That sucker was 7% too. So, there's a lot going on. But I think at this point in time, everybody should kind of stick to their financial plan. If you don't have one, you need to get one. But everybody should stick to their financial plan and look at what's important to you. Where are you at in life right now? Are you planning to retire in the next 5 to 10 years? What do your positions look like? Right? When's the last time you went over your 401k? A lot of times I tell y'all the show is all for the basics. And the reason I keep harping on the basics is because so many people are missing the basics. We all want to do the sexy stuff. We all want to do the get rich quick stuff. But many times we realize we don't want to do the basics. And those are the things that really save us and get us over to the promised land. So I see a couple more people have joined us over in the IG universe. 3MG, Greg, how you doing, Greg? Mid-Atlantic's here. Pretty Tony, Mr. Pretty Tony. Chase Fairbanks and Shua Bros Media. How are you? Welcome, y'all. So, as I said, always have a good financial plan. But your question, Sharon, I would say cash. Other thing I've talked about here on the show as well is energy. I shared with y'all the ETF that I was getting, or I am getting now, XLE. That is not a recommendation. I'm just sharing. Yeah, I'm just sharing. Okay, Hayden just gave me a correction. The Berlin Wall fell in 89. I said 87, so excuse me, y'all. But again, I would say cash, right? Look to shore up your cash accounts. I tell y'all all, I like a year's worth of earnings or income, right? Some of these old school financial advisors will say 3 to 6 months. And y'all know my standard has been a year. Again, that's the goal. We start with what we have and then we work from there. So if you got Hayden, that's incorrect. If you've got $500 set aside right now, that's cool. But start with that and then get to 1,000. Then get 1,000 and get 2,000. And then once you get 1,000, get to 5,000, right? But make it a habit. So, sometimes we get like, oh, when I get a raise, I'll put some money away. You know what happens? They get that raise. They go buy some new stuff. They buy a new car. They get more wardrobes. They get more jewelry. They get more stuff that's not going to help them at all long term. And so it becomes sad. But guess what? All of our bodies fail at some point. All of our bodies fail at some point. And so now is the time to start preparing for when that's going to happen. Don't delay. All right. So those are some of the things I would look at sharing. Again, cash. I would also look at, and like I said, cash, there's a couple things. There's a video up there. Matter of fact, I'll throw that video in the chat that I did. I'll throw it in the comment section. And you can check that out, Sharon. Give me 1 second, because if I don't do it now, I will forget. I will totally forget. Totally forget. All right, here it is. See, this is one of the videos I was trying to be fancy on. I thought this one would actually get more traction, but it didn't. But it seems like it's still working. So here's that one right there. 'Cause, 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 'c All right, so that one should be, that one should be coming up in the chat in just a minute. So again, cash, enough of us don't have cash. Now listen, if it don't apply, let it fly. If you got a year's worth of cash set aside, you cool. Don't pay me no mind. But if you don't, you kind of living dangerously, because any little disruption to your plan will jack you up. Now, again, I know y'all like to talk about stocks, so I want to give y'all a real life scenario of some of the clients I've worked with over the years and some of the things that have happened. Had a person basically go out of cash. This was right after the bull market started to run in like 09, 2010, somewhere around there. They had about 100 grand in cash. Business owner, right? They took all their cash. They said, well, the bull market's running again. We just got out of the depression. We're all good now. Took all their cash. Interest rates weren't that great. Put it into the stock market. Then their business got hit. Took some losses. Wasn't able to recover. They needed the cash. They hit a period where the market was down from where they originally invested. Excuse me, y'all. They took a point where they were down. They put 100 grand in. All right, money ran a little bit. They hit a hard point where the business got hit, was losing money. They needed to pour their money out. Their stock portfolio dipped substantially in one period. They pulled money out at a loss. So that's the thing. You need cash to survive the downturns. You have to be very, very strategic about it. Matter of fact, they were doing some real estate investing as well, and one of their properties got trashed, and so they couldn't recover. They couldn't recover from that. They had to take some of the cash out. They got hit by taking that sale, and they were able to write out some of the losses, but it wasn't really worth it. So oftentimes it's better to just have your cash sitting, even if it's only making a measly 0.5%, to make sure you have that security blanket for when those rainy days do come through. But again, they got hit. They were able to come back over time, but it hurt. It hurt. And they were mad at everybody except for themselves. Mad at everybody except for themselves. So things get a little bit interesting. All right. So I see some of y'all questions. Do me a favor, put a Q in front of your questions so I can make sure I can get to them quickly as I go through tonight's presentation. All right. So all right, the next thing on the list. Matter of fact, bear with me for a minute, y'all. I need to stand up. I told you I was going to tell y'all why I sat at a fast food restaurant for about 3 hours today. So real quick before I get to my next segment, I want to tell y'all about that. So today, well, let me back up. Everybody knows I kind of got this running joke about Arby's. And I always wonder, like, does anybody ever go to Arby's? Matter of fact, tell me, do y'all ever go to Arby's to eat? Because anytime I ride by there, I never see anybody in there. And so it's hilarious. But today I was doing some running around with my pops. He said he wanted Arby's. Why? I have no idea. My daughter said I should have talked him out of it. I didn't. He wanted a Reuben. Again, I never see anybody in Arby's. Never. I actually think they're a front for some illegal opportunity. Some legal activity organizations. I'm not going to say their names though. Because again, no matter where they are, I never see anybody in there. But he wanted to go there today. I said, all right, so we can go there. We wound up sitting in there talking for like 3 hours. I saw maybe 3 cars go through the drive-thru, maybe 10 people come into the place. It was so hilarious. There was a cook back there. He was a black guy, right, with a hat on with his Arby's hat. Actually, the Arby's hat is pretty fly. It's got a big A on it and everything. But the guy had a cigarette in his mouth while he was in the dining room. It took like 3 or 4 smoke breaks. Every time he was walking through the dining room with his cigarette in his mouth to go smoke. And I looked at that and I was like, that's interesting. That's really interesting. But that's what he did. But me and my pop sat in there pontificated about life in all of our disagreements, because my dad's very strongly opinionated. I'm very strongly opinionated. It's his fault. I tell him that all the time. But, it's always good to spend time with your folks. But again, does anybody go to Arby's? Like, I really, really don't get it. I really don't get it. All right, so the Crab Plug 2 says Arby's is the same company as Red Rogers. I don't think so. I thought they were different. Shelby, what's up, bro? Good to see you last night, man. I'm gonna have to come to Texas and check you out. All right, Big Man Tech, my man Frank says, I don't know where an Arby's is. Pops is cool. I'll tell you more about that offline. All right, so Big Man Tech says, I don't see you in glasses that often. You don't see me in glasses that often because I just got a new pair. I think I talked about this last week. Your boy's been blind as a bat. I was out driving late at night, and it wasn't a good look. I almost died. Almost died a couple times, so I had to go see my doctor. Shout out to Dr. Archima Majors, Black doctor, Philly area, Eye Innovations. Go check her out. Black doctor, Eye Innovations, in the Philadelphia area. So check her out. But again, Arby's for 3 hours. I feel like it was cool because I was with my pops. But I'm like, man, we could have been somewhere else. We could have been somewhere else. But all right, so at any rate, next point, next topic, taxes. Got a question today, and I know this is something that's really relevant to a lot of people right now. The IRS is still backed up. The IRS is still understaffed. The IRS is still taking a minute to process back returns. So I have one client who recently had to file like a whole bunch of back taxes. Matter of fact, I got a lot of clients that are filing a whole bunch of back taxes. They got one return process and they got a refund. They still are wondering where everything else is. And I want to say they're doing stuff from like 2016 till current 2014, just waiting. They said they don't want to file their taxes until they get an update on the status for everything else. I already know you're not going to get an update on status. It's just not going to happen because everything else is really jammed up right now. Everything else right now in the IRS is like behind. IRS, again, I did another video that's on YouTube, 25 million in backlog, or is it 34? 20, but let's say 25 million off the top of my head in backlog, at least 25 million in back taxes and backlog. Not including all the new taxes that are coming in because of tax season. Everybody wants to get their refund. Everybody wants their refund quick, fast, in a hurry. Don't nobody want to wait. Don't nobody want to delay. But she wants to not file her current tax return. I said, absolutely not. You got to file it. You want to file that tax return because sadly, the IRS is like a one-way relationship. You ever been in a manipulative relationship with a lady, man? I don't even know what to say these days. But it's just one way. You're just doing for the one person. Well, the IRS is that way. You can't get in trouble with them. They can get in trouble with you. You cannot get in trouble with them. You can't do nothing crazy to them. Now, if you are delayed with your taxes, guess what? If you owe money, you're jammed up. You want to find out if you owe money as soon as possible because interest and penalties accrue quickly, grow quickly, right? If they owe you money, they're not going to come knock on your door and say, hey, I owe you some money. You want your money back, you got to file your return for it. And guess what happens if you don't file a return? If you don't file a return within 3 years of the time that you should have officially filed that return, you lose the bread. So listen, I'm not here for the folks that, want to say taxation and stuff, that don't want to pay tax, don't want to file their taxes because, listen, this is the society we live in right now. This is what you got to deal with. If you don't want to deal with it, just go on the ground somewhere and live in a cave. That's all I got for you. But what I would suggest, if you want to be a free walking and talking citizen that doesn't have the prospect, the possibility of having to pay extra money, possibility of going to jail, possibility of getting in trouble with the alphabet boys, I say file your taxes and just keep it a clean slate and keep it moving. So that's what I say. Hopefully all of y'all have filed y'all taxes. Hopefully none of y'all are on back taxes. Well, if you do have back taxes, feel free to give me a shout and I'll help you out. Now remember, tax season ends, right? For my partnerships and my S corporations, tax season ends for them March 15th, not April, March. So I want y'all to put that note down. March 15th is the deadline for my partnerships and my S corporations. It's a crazy fine if you don't get it done. Regular folks, my 9-to-5ers, my LLC holders, your tax deadline is April 18th. April 18th. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. All right. And if you don't have your stuff prepared, you can file an extension. But the way the IRS is operating, I would get it done as soon as possible. All right. So Big Man Tech asked a question. Don't you have to file an extension if you don't file immediately? So yes, you can file an extension if you are not able to meet the deadline. But remember, an extension is an extension to file your taxes, not an extension to pay your tax bill. So remember that you need to file your taxes and pay your taxes. An extension will not delay your paying of taxes at all. All right, so let me see. We got some traction over here on the Facebooks and YouTubes. All right, Akira 34, I got your question. Give me 1 second, I'll get to it. Yeah, Big Man Tech. Don't be Wesley Snipes. Don't be Wesley Snipes. Don't be Fat Joe. Don't be Lauryn Hill. Don't be any of them. Don't want to see none of that. And even so Wesley was trying to not pay his taxes because he hooked up with some dudes that were anti-tax folks. And they played that game and he wound up getting hit for that. Fat Joe, though, his accountant ran off with his bread and he thought he was keeping him above board. So that's why I'm always saying you gotta have a good base foundation of financials, accounting, just money topics. I mean, listen, if you're serious about making money, you don't necessarily have to be the person to do it, but you need to understand the basics. All right, so Michael's here. How many days will be live? So Wednesdays will still be live. I actually like doing live. I like answering your money questions here on the spot. It helps, again, keep my creative juices going. Again, question I asked earlier. If you're just now joining, thanks for joining. If you're just now joining, but are you interested? Are you interested in seeing me do daily videos? Put daily in the chat if you are. All right, let's get to some more of these comments and questions. I'm not staying here with y'all all night. Y'all know I got to get to my vittles. All right, so Philly Amplified said daily. What's up, Philly? Philly says I need those write-offs I'm paying. Okay. Okay, Bill Gates. Can I borrow $1? Buying WMC. What is WMC? What is okay, Western Asset Mortgage Company. It's a penny stock, though. What do I say about penny stocks, y'all? What do I say about penny stocks? Penny stocks are the spawns of the devil. Listen, this show is for beginners. So if you want to deal with penny stocks, I would say wait till you at least take to intermediate level, understand the markets, understand what a good stock is, what a bad stock is. Penny stocks get manipulated quite often. It's actually very similar to what we've seen happen with Reddit, the whole Reddit crew, where they get together and they'll kind of pump and dump a stock, which is, I like to see folks taking agency and learning the markets and even working together to a certain degree. But I would say that there's clearly some coordination there. And what I mean by coordination, like folks are getting together and saying, let's move this stock. I mean, they've said it. And that's never good. It's never good. All right, Chastity says, oh, she watched the clip. All right, you watched the clip, Chastity. Listen, I try to mix it up a little bit. All right, so this is a curious question. Is this Russian thing a distraction from keeping the U.S. lack of dealing with reparations and social justice reform? I just saw this clip on the BBC. No, because the United States doesn't care about reparations, right? And I mean, at this point, we have to even not. All right, so let me get this out the way, because I know somebody's going to see this and they're going to take it all out of context, right? That we love to take stuff out of context. Reparations is clearly owed. African people, descendants of African people, the descendants of African people, Black people were held enslaved for far too long. The whole reason that the United States has gotten to where they've gotten is because of free labor. It wasn't because the sweat off their brow and they pulled themselves off their bootstraps. They stole the shit. That's all I got. But when it comes to reparations, how do we think we're going to get reparations? Major things like that don't happen unless there's a true unified front behind it. And sadly, a lot of Black folks don't care about politics, and we're talking about reparations. Reparations, it will be a political thing. It's a political thing. It's government. And so many of us don't care about politics. Many of us think politics is just all trickery. And I get it. And there is some legitimacy to that feeling. But you can't say you want a thing and don't want to be involved in the thing. You can't say you want reparations, which is a political thing, and not want to get involved with politics. See how that works? Doesn't make sense. But again, it's owed. But I think we could probably get more progress on the wealth front, closing the wealth gap. Now, y'all saw me on Erica Williams' show on channel these last twice or three times over the last month. And we had a whole conversation about the wealth gap. And she said something to me that got me thinking that the wealth gap is about $11 trillion. If every Black person, for easy math, y'all, if every Black person, 40 million, bought a $300,000 plus home, that would close the wealth gap. All right, you don't want to buy a home. If everybody got $300,000 worth of life insurance policies and it got transferred to their families and we didn't blow it, that would close the wealth gap. Might not close it right away, but it would close it. So there's a lot of things that we can do to better ourselves, but it takes agency. It takes agency over ourselves in the community. So again, I don't want to go too long and belabor on that, because then they're gonna be like, "Oh, Kamari, you just ranting right now." But again, nothing major ever happens to a divided people. And for all those people who love to say, "But Black people aren't a monolith," nobody, no group is a monolith. Nobody. So that literally is one of the most non-thought out, dumbest things I hear that people parrot all the time. And it's really, really sad that nobody's thinking about this. Because guess what? Whoopi Goldberg just got suspended. Who speaks out for Jewish people when they're offended? Do you think all Jewish people are on the same page? No, they're not. Just like all Asian people, right? Because Asian is a continent. It's not necessarily people, they're different peoples amongst that. So, I mean, if you really want to get serious, we got to get serious with our studying and stop just going along and repeating quote unquote cool talking points that sound sexy but really have no thought behind them. All right, so Kira says, how the U.S. always has funds for a war but nothing else? Well, they have funds for other stuff. They have PPP money, right? Sadly, a lot of us weren't prepared to get it. But I get it. I get your point, because when you look at defense spending, it's ridiculous. We don't need that much defense spending. If we just took like 5% from the defense budget, it would change everything. If we just took like 5%, I'm going to say I don't want to quote it because I think I'm going to get it wrong off the top of my head, but I'm going to go back and look like it's a major amount of money Lisa Marie, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Debt Free Dad, welcome. What's up, bro? How are you? How are you? All right, Lisa Marie asked, what are I bonds? All right, Lisa, I got some homework for you, sis. Got some homework coming for you. I would like for you to go check out this video I just did. Well, not just did, but a few weeks ago. Put it in the chat again. The name of the video is 3 Ideas to Help You Earn 4 to 7% on Your Savings Account. 3 ideas to help you earn 4 to 7% on your savings account. It's over on my Finance Rebel channel on YouTube, on the YouTubes, and you can get at it over there. That's the link right there. But an iBond, just real quick, an iBond is just an instrument that you can buy from the U.S. government. From a finance perspective, it's totally risk-free, so you don't bear the loss of losing money. It's a great way to save money. I think you can save as little as $25 and up to $10,000 a year off the top of my head. All right. Kendra says, I want my returns back. The market got rocked today because people are fickle, period. Yeah, Kendra, but guess what? Now's a great time to go shopping. There's a lot of cheap companies that are great long-term plays that you can buy right now. So the market's not always supposed to go straight up, y'all. That's not, y'all got spoiled. Y'all got spoiled while that bear market was away. They're here now. All right, so, all right, Jose says, no, never been to Arby's. Lisa Reed, no to Arby's. All right, I ain't saying that on live. Y'all can read the comment, though. I ain't saying that, though. I don't want no smoke. Yeah, it's a ghost town. I don't know what's going on with Arby's. All right, I am fresh. 145 says, I said the same thing about Arby's. Yeah, great minds thinking like what's going on here? Michael Dennis says reparations might require armed conflict, or the conflict might be economic, political, and maybe armed. Usually you can't have one without the other. Usually. But hey, Ms. Inez, how you doing? So Ms. Inez says, should I mail my tax refund this year? No, I wouldn't mail your tax return this year. I would do it electronically. If you need help with getting it done electronically, let me know. I got you covered. I wouldn't mail it. I wouldn't mail nothing to the IRS unless you have to right now. I had some stuff, like I had a couple clients get fraud notices. They had to mail the returns in last year. No updates, nothing. I have some clients doing amended returns from a year, almost 2 years ago. No updates, nothing. Matter of fact, it's been crickets. Nothing but crickets. So, I wouldn't bother to do any of that. All right, so thanks for Hayden coming in to say rescue me. Right now, the U.S. military budget is $777 billion. But see, there's two different military budgets. There's one discretionary and there's another one that's non-discretionary. And I'm not sure which one the $777 billion is. And that's why I didn't want to quote it. I never want to misquote anything to y'all. Just because, I see people get on the microphone. When I started out doing radio, I was always told that you have a responsibility to be as clear as possible and to deliver accurate information. Right. But, some folks don't care about none of that. All right. So I was going to say, and I kind of talked about it anyway, and we'll definitely get to more of these questions as well. The stock market. Now's the time to start reviewing your stocks. Now's the time to start reviewing your portfolios, because I don't know how long this Russia thing is going to go. It might go a little way. It might go a long way. But Russia is heavy. And what I mean by heavy is they got a squad. They got missiles. They have impact. They can do some things. So we don't know how long this is going to go. We don't know how long this is going to spread. So start looking at what you're invested in. Do you think it will survive the next 5, 10, 20 years? And again, this is all for beginners. These are all buy and hold type things. Not looking at trading. Not looking at none of the fancy stuff, right? Just looking at your everyday mom and pop, nana and pop, what they're doing with their portfolios, what they're doing with their money. So now's the time to start looking at it. One of the big mistakes people do is, I don't want to get too technical, but they have high correlated assets or high correlated stocks. Example, Apple and Microsoft tend to move together. People always talk about diversification, but they never really talk about correlation, right? So yeah, you could have multiple different companies, but if they all move together in the same way, you have the same level of risk. So when the stock market goes up, those stocks goes up. When the stock market goes down, those stocks go down. And so what happens when everything goes to trash? It tends to be a problem. So, so Russia has a little over 6,200 nuclear missiles. That's frightening. That is frightening. But I get it, American arrogance is a thing. And I'm sure there's Russian arrogance there as well. So don't believe that. So for me, again, I like to look at multiple news sources. I like to look at the BBC. I like to look at some of the independent news sources out of, I wanted to say out of the Middle East, but there's really nothing independent coming out of the Middle East. I'm trying to think there are some other independent news organizations that are internationally based that will give you a different perspective. You can't just read what's going on in this country from these folks because they are not boots on the ground. All right, Big Man Tech says invest in Smith & Wesson or Glock. Yeah, gun stocks tend to do well during these times. They do pretty well during these times. All right, so I got some more people here. Big Man Tech says, I hate politics, but I still vote. Yeah, I mean, I get it, but that's the responsible thing to do, right? We're adults. We have to do the hard things that we don't want to do, but the things that are necessary. And guess what? Politics isn't just about voting too, because I know somebody again is going to say, I don't want to just vote. You don't have to just vote. There's a lot of ways of leveraging your power. You can organize too. It's one of the reasons why I was mad at a lot of the so-called celebrities when it came time for Trump to run against the Dems, right? And they quote unquote want to say they're going to hold the vote hostage. All right, that's cool. I'm with it. That is a viable political tactic. But where the hell was you at 5 years ago when it was time for us to organize? You can't just run the play at the time the game is here. You have to practice to play. You have to practice. Yes, we talking about practice. Oh, I need that soundbite. Somebody remind me to get that soundbite. Yes, folks, we are talking about practice. If you haven't practiced to play, how efficient can you be at running it? So when all the celebrities were saying, I want to meet with Trump, or I want to meet with Biden, or whatever, but you haven't really put boots on the ground to really organize and galvanize folks, how serious are you? I mean, I have to ask that question because now the time folks supposed to be involved. I know presidential elections are the time where you get the most turnout and vote, but there's an election every 6 months. Everything from dog catcher to DAs to mayors and governors are all there, and they all impact our lives in some way, shape, form, or fashion. But somehow, somebody told us this is a fashion show. Somehow, somebody told us this is a popularity contest, and we don't get involved in a major way any other time. We should be involved every time, because when you're involved every time, they know you're serious, and they know you can't pull over on it. I talked about the Jewish community earlier having their way of communicating their dissatisfaction. You know what else they do? They are high turnout voters. So how does this small population of people have some of the highest per capita income, highest per capita net worth, and they're able to run things and manipulate things for their advantage oftentimes? Not trying to broad strokes them and somebody say, oh, all Jews aren't rich. I know that. But we're talking from a general perspective right now. How are they able to do it? Gotta start asking yourself these questions, y'all. You gotta start looking at the real things. All of us love our kids. But what about when it's time for our kids to get educated? Every year it's a fight because budgets are short. What do Jews do with their schools? Not all of them. But how do they get a yeshiva and many other organizations that are theirs from their funding, from their blood, sweat, and tears? We could do the same thing. We could do the same thing, y'all. All right. So Philly Amplify said Philly is Chicken City. Come on, man. That just don't sound good. Chicken George was the man, though. But that's a whole other conversation. The IRS stress people out electronically. I think Lisa Marie is saying the IRS stressed people to file electronically. I believe that's what Lisa Marie is saying. No problem. Midnight Green, how are you? Yes, everyone's good. Everyone is cozy. All right, so Jose says, wouldn't it be better and more efficient if the IRS automated sending out returns while having an automated system to process those returns? I mean, I could tell you what is more efficient. It's just not going to happen, right? The IRS basically knows what we all make, some way, shape, form, or fashion. We don't necessarily need to file tax returns because they have most of the information. But those big accounting firms and those big firms that run a lot of commercials lobby Congress to stay the way they are. And they kind of pimp the system. But hey, I benefit from that system too, but I believe in telling the truth. So whether I benefit from it or not, it's a little overreach, in my opinion. It could be gotten rid of. But just like anything else, people like to make things difficult, oftentimes. All right, so Philly Amplify says, aren't we possibly coming up in a perfect storm with Russia and housing market at its peak? And a couple of things are going to give. I would say yes. The other thing Philly Amplify left out is potential interest rates coming up. Other thing Philly Amplify left out is bond. The Fed Reserve is going to lower their bond buying. Probably like bond buying. What is that? So the Federal Reserve buys mortgages to keep the mortgage markets afloat. As a result of that, they put more liquidity in the mortgage market. People are able to borrow. People are able to buy more homes. What a tangled web we weave. Now, I've talked about, I feel the Fed Reserve is asleep at the wheel at this point. I've been talking about that now for a couple months. Because I thought, and I still feel this way. A lot of this inflation is due to supply shortages. A lot of these shortages are, due to the ports being backed up. But it also has a lot to do with all this free money that's out here floating, all the stimulus money that's out here floating. So sadly, it's never black and white, folks. It's never, yes or no. It's always nuance. It's always details to things. And the sooner we can start to look at nuance and detail, the better off we'll be. Jerry Easley. What's up, brother? How are you? Welcome. Jerry, you're becoming a regular, man. I'm about to get something for y'all regulars. I appreciate y'all tremendously. My Jerry's, my Jose's. I was about to say Don. I haven't seen Don in a minute, but I'm sure he's somewhere around here lurking. A lot of y'all becoming regulars. I appreciate y'all. My debt-free dads. Lisa's a regular. My Kira's becoming a regular. Philly Amplifies becoming a regular. Mike's a regular, but Mike be busy. So, but I do appreciate y'all. I do. Let's see if the IGs have anything. If y'all have any questions before I get ready to go and get out of here, throw them in the comments or chats. Do me a favor. Also share this out with a friend or two, 3 or 4. Share with anybody who is looking to increase their overall financial education. All right, so any Bretts here? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Phenomenal Trends. I think I said your name right. Miss Marion 999. Okay, Big Man Tech says I work for those big large tax firms. Yeah. All right, Delight 15 hours is here. Sherwood 1906 is here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Again, if you're just joining and don't know me from a can of paint, my name is Kamari Ellis. I'm the Finance Rebel. You're watching the Finance Rebel Show, and every Wednesday we do Wealthy Wednesdays. The question of tonight is, should I do a daily video highlighting some of the most important and impactful financial stories that are coming across the channels, coming across the wire, and break it down for everybody. So go ahead and throw your comments. If you want to see that, if you want to see daily videos from me, just go ahead and throw daily in there. Throw daily in the chat. So again, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, go ahead and throw them in the chat. You're welcome, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so what else we got popping, y'all? What else is going on? We saw Big Bang P. Again, shout out to my girl. I am legally hype. She's hilarious. Let's see. All right, Midnight Green says daily. All right, so we got a lot of dailies. Nobody said no. I hope y'all not just being nice to me. I'm not interested in y'all. I'm not interested of y'all being afraid to hurt my feelings. I got I got tough skin. All right, Big Man Tech says daily. All right, they'll probably be short, anywhere from 5 to say 12 minutes, somewhere around there. The shorter, the better. But I don't want them to be so short that we miss anything, miss any detail, miss any nuance. I think that's a part of the big problem today. Everybody's looking for that quick fix. Nobody's really looking to go deep. A lot of times we have a disagreement with our so-called friends and loved ones. And so we just want to know, were you right or were you wrong? And not really look for what really happened. Look for the perspective. Look for the feelings. Look for the intentions. They just want to say you was wrong. F you, screw you, I'm out of here. Lauryn Hill has let me find that. Let me find that. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I want to share something with y'all real quick. Give me 1 second. So again, if you want to see me do daily videos, just go ahead and throw daily and the chat. So I want to share this real quick. Now I know y'all are going to be like, this has nothing to do with money, but it has everything to do with money. So just bear with me for 1 second. And you know what? I don't know if I hit the button, the audio button. Give me 1 second. I always mess this up, but I'm getting better at it, y'all. I'm getting better at it. All right, here we go. Hit the button this time. And I always think,
I'm just, love, I tell you, love is that confidence. Love is what you give your children. Love is what you give. Let me tell you another thing about the Matrix. going back to the Matrix, is that I was always confused about it. I always thought that, the Matrix was battling the enemy out there, picking them out. I'm going to find those enemies. I'm going to get that enemy, until I realized that until you conquer the enemy in yourself, you can't deal with anyone. In order to be used by God, you have to really be used. We always want to be used for the glorious jobs. Let God.
So just real quick, for anybody that's not on my YouTube or Facebook stream, you're not going to be able to see this. My folks on IG, I apologize. My podcast listeners will be able to see this. They will be able to hear this, but just bear with me for 1 second. And or you can come on over to the YouTube stream and we can check this out. But just bear with me for a second if you're on the YouTube. If you're on the IGs.
God put me on the stage in front of the people in the Grammy show with a nice dress on. Let me just praise your name. But that's not being used. Sometimes in order to be used, you also have to be humiliated. You have to be humiliated sometimes. You have to be kicked and beaten. And in that situation, the person who's kicking and beating, he's feeling more pain than you are. Love is an incredible thing. And we don't know love like we should.
We don't know love like we should.
I have unconditional love. Unconditional love is, we don't even know it. Because if a person stops stimulating us, we stop loving them. You're not interesting to talk to anymore. Goodbye. But that real love, that love that sometimes is difficult to have, that's that love. And that's a confidence builder. Thank you. That was very long. For one little question.
So I always love that commentary by Lauren. She's a GOAT, by the way. Young Lauren's a GOAT, by the way, y'all. But love, right? My show here is for us, by us. Some people don't get it. They don't have to get it. It's not for them. But one of the things that we have to do is we talk about money and we talk about this wealth thing is we got to go find that black love. Because it still boggles my mind that, there's been a lot of talk about black spending. Now 1.6 trillion. It used to be 1.2 trillion. Now it's 1.6 trillion. We only spend about 2% of that with black folks, with black businesses. So how in the world can you get 1.6 trillion, spend 1.6 trillion dollars and only spend 2% of that with black businesses? And now we're not going to go for the okie doke and say, oh, there are no black businesses. There are no good black businesses. I say bullshit. There's plenty of good ones. Plenty of good ones. Sometimes you might have to look. But again, the reason why you want to spend your money with black businesses is because black businesses tend to hire black folks. I think I talked about this last week. Or no, I talked about it on another video that's about to come out. You should see that in a day or two. I just got to figure out the time to get it edited and get it up. But right now, black unemployment is 6.9%. The national average for unemployment is 4%. If everything's equal, if everything's fair, if there's total equality, all the numbers should be the same. You wouldn't even need a study or a stat for black families or black unemployed folks. It would just be, Americans are unemployed 4%. But that's not the case. And so we know, because everybody here I know is sophisticated, well thought out, we know life isn't fair. Fair doesn't exist. So again, if we know fair doesn't exist, how are we going to get to more equality? How are we going to shape the narrative so we can get things and make things better? But, again, it takes time, it takes work, it takes love. But again, we give away a lot of our love. We give away a lot of our power to those folks who really don't care about us. I love hip hop. I really do. I so do. But I'll be honest with y'all. I don't want to hear another rapper talking about a foreign. I don't want to hear another rapper talking about some luxury brand that's not black owned. And they're not giving the same amount of love to black owned businesses. Why? Because it's been proven historically, empirically, that these quote unquote brands don't hire us for jobs. Oftentimes, they won't even do business with our other businesses. make you want to think, doesn't it? Makes me think. I don't want to go anywhere and do business with folks who don't want to do business with me. It's not fair. I just said fair doesn't exist, but you know, it's not right. And I'm giving away all my power. So I'm looking up because I want to double check myself. I know I had it somewhere. But I'll find it. I was looking for the black unemployment rate. All right. Again, if oh man, Jerry come through with a super chat. Thank you, sir. Thank you. $5 super chat from Jerry. Appreciate you, brother. Got shout out to the comedians, to the wannabe comedians. Philly Amplified, great to see you repping the Bloods and the Crips for February. No, sir, I'm repping neither. I'm repping black all the time. Just so I haven't had what I had to put on. I have a bald head, right? My head be cold a lot of times, be a little crisp, you know, little nippy out here. So I gotta protect the black. So don't laugh at him, Frank. Don't laugh at him. But all right, any questions, comments, concerns? I see there's a couple. Okay. Yeah, he want me to do so. Yeah. Y'all got jokes. All right, so let me throw this up here. Hayden, do me a favor, look and see what it is right now, though. So Hayden is my super producer behind the board, and this is what Hayden has found. In 2021, black unemployment rate was 8.6%. 8.6%. Currently, right now, it's 4%. And I'm not sure what that time period was. But I believe on the last reading for January, I believe the January number was lower. And I just had those rates. Okay, yeah, black unemployment dipped to 6.9%. So I had it right. So I'm reading an article. Flip Funding, how are you? Fly Girl 1908, how are you? Gloria Gamma Ray, how are you? Welcome. So I'll share this last thing, and then we're gonna get out of here. So CNBC has an article. I'm gonna have to get subscriptions to everything because everybody wants to run me their ads. Everybody. And I get it. They gotta make money too, but geez. All right, so while I'm pulling this up, I'm gonna read this comment. Fly Girl 1908 says, you made excellent points in supporting black by sending my son to a HBCU, but commit to doing better. All right, that's a start. Shout out to Deion Sanders. Y'all see what I got on this JSU. If y'all don't know what JSU is, this is Jackson State. He is literally down there turning around the athletics program. And we're starting to see more top level black athletes go to HBCUs, which is a wonderful thing. Why is that important? Because there's so many of these PWI institutions, athletics, especially basketball, football, bring money in because those are the programs that get the television contracts a lot of times. And so they're able to bring those in. They're able to subsidize some of the other sports programs. They're also able to subsidize endowments. So, you know, it's imperative that we start to look at things through a different lens. And so one of the reasons from time to time y'all will see me with an HBCU shirt on is because I vowed to buy an HBCU piece of merch from just about every HBCU I can buy them from. Some of them are easier to buy from than others for whatever reason. But I'm gonna get it done. We got to do a better job of spreading awareness of our HBCUs and our Black-owned businesses. And I know somebody's going to say, but HBCUs aren't Black. I know. I get it. Most of them are named after white folks, but the majority of Black doctors come from where? At HBCU. The majority of Black engineers come from where? In HBCU. Right. The majority of Black lawyers come from where? At HBCU. And the stats go on and on and on and on. So it's actually imperative for us as a community, right? Let's get out our feelings and let's look at how it should work as we look at things from a community standpoint. It behooves us to support HBCUs as a community. Now I could talk about all day long about HBCUs and history and how they came from land grant and this and that. But at the end of the day, if these are the schools that are producing the results that are impacting our community, right? Because let's think about this. We need more Black lawyers. Why? Black lawyers tend to be able to work in the political system better. Black lawyers tend to represent for Black people in the legal system better. We need more Black lawyers. We need more Black doctors. Why? Because we know there's still a lot of disparities in healthcare. The more Black doctors we have, ideally, right, the less medical healthcare disparities we have. So, it's all these things are important. Yes. Representation matters. And by the way, Philly Amplified, shout out to Morgan and Howard for being a part of the All-Star Weekend. I didn't see that. That's dope. But by the way, Philly Amplified, I just bought a Morgan sweatshirt yesterday. I just bought one yesterday. So, I'm going to get on mine. I got a Howard one. I got this one. I got a couple others. I need to get a Lincoln one. Definitely got to get a Cheney one. Need a FAMU one. So, matter of fact, this will be fun. Which HBCU which HBCU uniform? Well, I'm messing it up. Which HBCU should I get merch from next? Put that in the chat for me, y'all. Help me out. All right, but so real quick, wanted to go over this before we get out of here. All right, Black unemployment rate dips, labor force participation rises. Now, for the record, unemployment numbers are a little raggedy and a little janky because they only count the rolls of people who applied for unemployment and that are on the rolls. We know there are a lot of us, Ray, Pookie, Tamika, Aisha, who not on the rolls, who don't have jobs, but they figure out a way to hustle and make it happen. But they still are underemployed or underemployed. But here it says, the January jobs report showed some signs of optimism for the U.S. labor recovery, particularly for Black workers who have been disproportionately impacted by the pandemic. All right. The Black unemployment rate dipped to 6.9% last month from 7.1%. The Black labor force participation rate rose to 62% in January, the same as white workers. So if Black labor participation rate is 62%, it's the same as white folks, why is national unemployment 4%? See what I'm saying? Like, you got to be able to go deeper into the numbers and start to understand it. I'm not saying we all got to nerd out on everything, but we got to look a little bit deeper. So again, we know the unemployment rate isn't right. Okay, so if we know unemployment rate isn't right, we know we only spend 2% of our funds with Black-owned businesses. We need to spend more. How much more? That's up to you. But I'll tell you what some of the studies say. Maggie Anderson, I've talked about Maggie Anderson and the wonderful book she wrote called Our Black Year. She said if we took that 2% to 10%, we will be able to create 1 million jobs overnight. So what happens when we start doing these things? Like when we start to strategically and consciously spend our money. We should be conscious consumers. So, I mean, again, I got to be thinking about these things. All right, so host Nadia, if I'm saying your name wrong, I apologize. Kelly's Closet, everybody follow Kelly's Closet. Tamron JC3, Biz Architect, what's up, brother? All right, Fly Girl 1908 says Morehouse. Biz Architect says Lincoln. Ohio Player 46 just joined us. All right, so we got Morehouse, we got Lincoln in the mix. All right, let's see who else we got. Music Man 1982, what's up, bro? Said, where's my Cheney gear? All right, so Cheney's in the mix. I did just say I got to get some Cheney gear. All right, so we got Lincoln all day, every day. How do you not have any Lincoln gear? So I'm going to tell you a story. Lincoln's got this fly orange and blue sweatshirt. It's like half and half. It's so dope with the LU on it, but they were sold out, so I couldn't get it. But what I will do is I'll go back and I'll look, and I'll see what I can get. All right, so next HBCU to get Hampton. So we got Hampton on deck. We got Cheney on deck. We got Lincoln. I think Lincoln has got the most votes. Morehouse. All right. One day I'll do a video like all my HBCU merch to see which ones I should get next. All right. So, all right, we got Cheney, we got Lincoln, we got Morehouse. Cheney, Lincoln, Morehouse. Dow said Morgan and Howard. I already ordered the Morgan one though. The Morgan one's dope too. And so we'll see. All right, so it looks like Lincoln's on deck. I think Lincoln's got the most votes. I got 2 Lincolns, 1 Hampton, 1 Cheney. Hey, Miss Edith, no worries. I know it's all love. So we got Cheney, Lincoln, Hampton, Lincoln, Morehouse. All right, that's on deck. All right, so it looks like Lincoln won this. So, all right, the next one I'm going to get is Lincoln. So when I get some bread, I will go get me some Lincoln. Yeah. All right, so listen, everybody, I appreciate everybody that's here. I'm always humbled that we're here to have these conversations every Wednesday, right? So I'm going to start putting out daily videos. All I'm going to ask you to do, check them out and let me know if they're good or not good, because my thing is I want to be great. And so in everything I do, I want to be great. In order to be great, you need honest feedback, honest critiques, not the bootleg stuff that's going on where people be like, you suck, your voice sucks, everything about you sucks. You know, just real stuff. And I know y'all not going to do that, but just to make the point. So I will see y'all all next Wednesday. And so then make sure y'all lock into the YouTube channel to see what comes next. All right, everybody, have a great night. Oh, y'all just doing some more. Hey, Northern Bell. Prairie View. Okay. Yeah, I know we had mad love. So Frank and I have some tales of when we were young lads of running around Lincoln's campus doing things we weren't supposed to be doing. But that's a whole other thing. All right. Okay. You Maryland Eastern Shore. I didn't even think about Maryland Eastern Shore. Okay, so we got Prairie View. All right, it looks like Lincoln still's in the mix. All right, we're going to bring this back again either next week or we got the next. So, all right, everybody, y'all have a great week. Do me a favor, like, comment, and share this. Oh, last thing. If you are not in the text community, make sure you get in the text community. If you want to stay in touch with me, 215-974-0058. Again, 215-974-0058. And I will see y'all all next time. Have a great one, y'all. Y'all stay great.